There we go. The whole map, the second map with the route in it. So we're gonna be seeing both versions of the map that are having the stone road between the town centers in there. And that's the second one, Team Islands, the whole map of Clan Gaucho B. So the civilizations, Gaucho, Celts, Vikings, and Huns. The Celts are really interesting in there. For the opponents, it's gonna be Vikings, Huns, and Mayans. Fairly normal. The Mayans may be kind of interesting because usually on this map, or rather on Team Islands, I have seen Mongols used by the players. And that means that I'm gonna be curious what's gonna happen, but it should be fairly standard for Gaucho B. It's gonna be interesting, especially for RFRs, because Gaucho B, it's kind of known what they're gonna do. They're gonna try to control the water a bit, but not really too much, and then land, and surprise their opponent, who might be a bit more interested in basically controlling the middle of the map a whole lot more. That's usually what happens, and usually it also works for Gauchos, so yeah. Let's see if it's gonna be working this time against RFR. The water so far, as I'm looking at them, potentially a bit of an issue for green. If he were to place Rook about this position, it would be kind of sad, as there are not enough fishes in there, like absolutely none. Only one deep fish at the very corner of the map. But since the position of his CC is about here, he's probably gonna be docking like there. And that's gonna be quite fine for him, because you can see 3 deep fish, that's quite fine for him. Yeah, he shouldn't be having any kind of issues in the long run. Otherwise, all across the map, I don't see any kind of issues whatsoever. Everybody quite nice spread of the fishies, of shore fish and the deep fish as well. So I'm thinking that that's not gonna be any kind of mistake by anybody where they could be placed in their docks. Just gonna be interesting to see who's gonna be coming for a back dock and for a front dock. That is, of course, something that will be playing a whole lot of importance, or rather be quite important for how the game is gonna be playing out. And in the meantime, for example, let's check the positioning of some kind of golds and maybe even TCs and whatever. Because as far as landing goes, and potentially even the control of the water, this might be also quite important for this game. This kind of funny stuff could be also very important, because this is like some kind of dent into the island of Gauchos. So pretty good chance for control by RFRs of basically what happens here. And they will have to somehow have a trade route all the way through the middle, rather through the bottom, which is going to be very hard, considering that there is another dent inside the island. So the natural way for the trade route is going to be through the middle, like literally through here. So this might be a pretty big problem for them. If they're not able to control the game, and it's going to be coming into late game, into trade cards and whatever, they might be having significant issues because of this. Yeah, well, that's something they need to really take care of. For the opponents, it doesn't really seem that dire. There is a bit of a dent as well, but nothing all that major, because their island is slightly better. They can produce docks, I don't know, or other markets about here, and go all the way in there and basically avoid this dent altogether. So it's not really any kind of problem for them. And Talgabe, yeah, well, basically, we're gonna be continuing with this normal AoC clan league coming forward. And then there will be, of course, the expansion clan league. And they will be just basically run in parallel or something like that. Yeah, you'll be continuing, not really classic or anything, just normal AoC, and then it will be VK or something like that. So just 2 different names for the 2 different games. Yeah, we're not really thinking up some kind of brutal names like others tend to do. We're just standard, and we are having history behind us and tradition, so we have no need to make something like that and do something like that. Okay, so already coming for a mill in the middle, which of course is making plenty of sense because of the, not only the boars, but because of the planted deer. As those are quite close by and will be quite probably a very good placement. Oh, this is nice. This is nice, clever little play. Can you see how he's absolutely cheesing the boar? And the boar is just spazzing in there, in seething in anger. Even the second village is gonna be helping. Is the third one gonna be doing the same? Well, apparently not, but they can be right now killing the second boar as well. But that's just gonna be coming a bit later on. He needs to, yep, right now, put this villager out of his misery, out of his prison, so that he can finally gather from exactly the boar. It might be a bit of an issue for him, because the killing placement right next to the mill is gonna be basically limiting the amount of villagers that can work on it. But still, he's not having all that many of them, but 5. Should be reasonably fine with that. But it was a really neat little play that we have just witnessed in there. Spell docks are gonna be placed this way. So for Darkly Wise, a bit more to the right. It's actually pretty good placement looking at all the fishies and whatever. It's gonna be fine, but curiously enough, he's not coming into the middle. Not wanting to control the middle of the water. Whereas purple is at the back And blue is gonna be at the back as well. Okay, so basically all RFRs are at the back. So they don't really feel comfortable on the water map, it seems like. It really seems that they don't like them all that much. So I think it was actually you, Talgabi, that was having this observation in the first connected islands. So yeah, it really looks like that. So in the meantime, Pingui is coming definitely forward as the Viking. He is expected to be controlling the waters in the middle. And then the other teammates are gonna be at the back. You can see Exoro at the back side and Green basically exactly in the sweet spot. Even moved a bit more to the left so that he can avoid a bit more the emptiness on the right. VG probably didn't really know about all that much. But yeah, he did lock in into a pretty good spot for his economy, as we are having apparently a bit of a pause. Okay, so far it seems to be really going for Gaucho B, as RFRs are apparently having quite a lot of respect from them and of them in this match, and they definitely know that Gaucho B are quite competent on Team Islands. So what's this pause? What's this pause all about? Still everybody in the game, so it's just gonna be a normal pause, not any kind of drop or anything. Well, that was short unpause. Very short one. Very short one. So what are we gonna be looking at now? Well, the positions of the resources, that's something that I haven't really finished all that much, and the TCs potentially. This seems to be kind of fine for Bullet. Even the gold is quite far away. The stone maybe, but for the majority of the game, I'm thinking it's gonna be safe. Maybe in the Imperial Age it's gonna be a bit problematic, but otherwise the secondary stone and other golds, pretty good positions for him as he's pushing the deer. Yes, he is, or is he not? Yeah, he seems to be. Yeah, he is. Trying to really push the deer in there. So otherwise, the resources seem to be basically nicely positioned. Sometimes on Team Islands, you can see some problems like this that are also coming for basically starting TCs and starting resources. Doesn't seem to be all that much case on the right side, but here for Penguin, this is definitely problematic stone for him. He's not gonna be all that happy about that placement, but otherwise, at least the gold is fine, reasonably fine. Still, there's gonna be potentially some room for abuse by Galleons in Imperial Age, but yeah, it seems to be fine as there's a lot of pausing right now going on. As it's gonna be a drop in the end then. Seems like a drop in the end. Okay, so it seems like that actually Exoro had some kind of power cut or something. Alright, so in the meantime, I guess you might just as well check into the achievements and then wait for the restore. As Poncho so far having the best game of all the players. Oh, Kanala already lost a unit. Okay, that's fun. Let's check. He had to lose villages somewhere then. Is there some kind of skeleton somewhere? Oh, there's a dead wolf. Oh, there's another skeleton right next to it. But yeah, that has to be it. That he probably lost the village to some skeleton. Oh, not really, to Wolfie. Or maybe to a boar. That definitely could have happened as well. But he is one village down. Even though he's still at 27, it's just basically how the players are gonna be advancing into a few villages. You can see they are just now coming in there with Pingui and Poncho already be in, so they are quite content to fight for the middle of the water as fast as possible and allow the pocket player, exactly Poncho, to later land onto the enemies. I'm thinking it's gonna be him who's gonna be landing. Just kinda makes sense. Especially as he is in the pocket. Plenty of food collected for Bullet. Whereas plenty of wood for Poncho. And quite good exploration by Kanala on his side of the island, it seems like. But well, Poncho not really far behind. So this is some interesting stats right there at the very early stage of the game. Not something that we see all that often. Not early, but yeah, let's wait for Exoro to actually come back and restore the game. There we go. Continuing exactly where we left, as everybody's advancing into a few villages and such. Which of course means that we're gonna be looking at potentially interesting battles on the left, especially because Pinguy advanced quite a bit faster. Poncho wasn't really that far behind, but at the same time he hasn't produced the dock in the front. He's of course having the economy at the very back, and everybody going for of course double bit axe so that they are having plenty of wood for themselves. And in the meantime, of course, Dark Levi is producing plenty of docks on the right, as he is of course the Viking player, so the one important for the water battles. He's gonna be trying to control Exoro. Now we have so far seen that Exoro is also at the back, and you can see that also only one dock. So this is just basically completely telling you that he's the one landing. Yeah, he's the one landing, most definitely. And the Han, Poncho and Pinguy are gonna be fighting for the water. Whereas Exoro is gonna be the one who will be trying to close it off. Close the game off, and apparently the way of approach is gonna be through the left. It's making plenty of sense because Pinguy and Poncho should be controlling that part of the map. Against Bullet, it seems, yeah, quite a given at this point, as Pinguy is already through, and that's gonna be just one. Yeah, that is only one dog right now for Bullet. So it seems like that actually Bullet is gonna be having the same idea. Bullet is gonna be landing as the Han. Yeah, it definitely seems that that will be basically the plan for RFRs as well. So they're just gonna be landing each other and seeing who's gonna be a bit more effective in their job. Well, interesting times coming for us. Definitely are. As of course right now Dark Device is already making his way around the island, trying to see what he can kill and what is actually gonna be happening from the opponents. You can see that Exoro is gonna be at least basically trying to fake it. He's gonna be trying to fake that he is still present on the water. This is definitely interesting idea right now by the teal player, because right now maybe Dark Device could be scared of at least a bit, but just 1 against 3, yeah, like why? At least he's gonna be slowing him down at least a bit before he discovers what exactly is going to happen. As of course in the middle, Dark Device is sending all the boats in there, but it's definitely not gonna be enough, as Pinguy with Poncho are having so many boats in here, and they are already not really controlling the shoreline. They are just being beached there. That's actually something that we see very often lately. Really very often. I don't remember seeing it all that often on the previous version of user patch, to be honest. I'm really thinking it might be some kind of bug. Because it just basically happens like in every game on any kind of water that I actually notice it. It definitely didn't in the earlier stages of the user patch, so maybe it's something to look out for and look at for Scripter, but still he is doing a great job. And of course we must be continuing to look what's going to happen here, because apparently Canela is gonna be having a bit of fun on the water as well right now, pushing back Pinguy. But of course Pinguy in the meantime, he is still doing a good job, and landing is gonna be spotted of course, but is it gonna be in some kind of good placement? Well, Bully just doesn't care. Bully just doesn't care where it's coming from and where it's coming, so he's just gonna be somewhere making his presence and basically trying to stop his opponent from landing himself. Because right now villagers are coming forward, of course, from the teal player. He's gonna be wanting to land himself as the villagers are forward in there. And well, Pinguy is of course gonna be taking care of those quite probably right now. Oh, well, is he gonna be killing them even? As the wolf is definitely... Oh, and he's landing without loom? Like seriously, that's a disaster. That's an absolute and utter disaster right there. Man, that was one hell of a landing. Okay, so you're not gonna be surprised in Clan Gaucho with this. Experts on Deep Islands are not gonna be surprised by something like that. So that's basically 2 villages gone right now for Bullet. And Bullet will have to do something a whole lot better. Or maybe even start basically preparing some defenses, because right now Clan Gaucho should be quite well aware that they will be having quite a good chance of landing themselves. They're already forward with the villages and whatever. Gonna be controlling that part of the land as well. And of course, right now hoping that they're gonna be landing as well. You can already see that Exoro is having a transport boat, and it's gonna be all about keeping the opponents at bay and not allowing them to see that they are gonna be landing. That's basically the power of landing. It has to be somehow safe and secret. You just cannot let your opponent know all that easily, as Bullet right there, because otherwise it's just gonna be too easy to counter overall. So here we go. They're gonna be coming forward. Maybe this Eagle Scout could be helping in the detection. He definitely could, but otherwise, of course, Dark Levi is just trying to control the dock in there, he has already killed that, and basically making sure that Teal is not gonna be coming anywhere on the water at all this game. Well, in the meantime, of course, landing has just happened. Let's switch into Bullet, who so far doesn't know Yeah, the rock is gonna be killed fairly soon as well, so any kind of line of sight from that was given is also gonna be fairly quickly gone. This is gonna be, of course, some barracks coming in there, and right now with the scout, unfortunately, that was basically the kind of gameplay that Bullet did. Completely useless and giving yourself up. Exactly that, because like, how is the enemy scout gonna get there? Well, of course, because he has landed. So, oh, come on, that was a huge mistake by Exoro to basically let himself be known so fast. As of course, he did wait for killing the dog so that he can produce the siege workshop in the darkness, but yes, basically just giving it up already. Right now, Bullet knows that he has been landed and he's already gonna be preparing for that. He does have the barracks. Is he gonna be right now following up with the stable? He does have the stable already, and he's gonna be producing the knight. So, like, what are you right now gonna do, Exoro? Not entirely certain, because your opponent is already gonna be ready for you, and he's probably gonna be just waiting for, well, I don't know right now what's gonna happen, because of course he's a cell. He can be producing a few knights, because why not? He definitely can be continuing into even paladins a bit later as a Celtic player, but is it gonna be happening? I'm not entirely certain, as right now it's gonna be apparently pikemen with the mangonel against the potential knights that the Han player could be producing against him, which is not a bad idea. But the question is how long it's gonna be working, because you're just gonna be waiting for potentially some monks to help with some conversions and whatever, and it might just be enough, as Dark Device is also right now switching to the left side with already having war galleys, but war galleys are coming from Pingui also, and you can see that Poncho is already having them. So the water is definitely strongly right now going for Gaucho, even though there are just two players from them fighting in there. But it has to be said that for the opponents, it's like 1.5, and right now finally Canal is gonna be joining into the battle in here, and that will be at least evening it at least a bit, but I'm not entirely certain if it's actually gonna be enough, because right now this landing seems to be really working a whole lot better than actually Bullets did. So yeah, the Bullets landing wasn't exactly all that huge in here, but he's already losing plenty of economy. You can see, even though he's very nicely boomed, already at 67. You can see he's at 67 at this stage. 38 for the other players, otherwise 38-39. And I was looking for Teal. He seems to be really at 70 something as well. Really? That doesn't seem to... that doesn't seem right. Let's check the achievements. Society stats. He's having just 53. Okay, so the economy for Bullet is actually pretty big at this point. He's booming very nicely. But the question is if he's gonna be able to survive at this point. Will. He does have the knights there. But the army from Exoro is definitely growing quite strong. Was there any kind of sling? I don't expect so. No. There wasn't any kind of sling at all, as the pause is gone. And of course right now the Golden Isle is gonna be a huge issue for Bullet, because he doesn't have any gold left. He will have to move somewhere elsewhere on the right side. He does have quite a bit of chances in there still. So of course this one gold mine is not really that much of a problem for him at all, looking how he does have the options somewhere else. Alright. So basically just waiting for the correct number of all those knights, and especially the mangonel in there, so that he can produce, or rather reduce, all those siege basically into Rash. And oh well, that was a mistake right about now in there by Exodon. He wasn't paying enough attention, basically letting all those knights get onto those valuable siege work, so that seems like the defense will be working, even though he's gonna be losing 1 TC yet again. As I said, he's having plenty of economy already, and he can basically right now afford even to vilify this quite fine and get rid of all of those rams, and then it might be really working for him, as overall in the defense he should be quite fine. But at the same time, the water is definitely right now not in a good spot for Unforest Run. It's in a horrible spot, because right now Pingu is fully controlling Dark Device, it seems like, which is basically half of his army. The second half and a bit of help from Poncho is controlling Blue Canalas, so the water is definitely going for Gaucho, and if this is gonna be basically kept alive somehow, then they might really close the game fairly quickly. But yeah, well, still has to be careful, because there is quite a bit of fight left in Bullet, because he does have the economy to back that all up. So yep, that's why he's still having quite a good game, but he also needs to be careful about the shape of the map, because it's allowing quite plenty of boats to abuse him on the economy. Not exactly what he would want all that much, as there is still gonna be quite a lot of pressure by Exoro to try and delete him altogether, especially his economy that is quite strong at this point. But Exoro is trying to catch up with already being at 62, so basically just 15 less than Bullet, and Bullet is right now having plenty of idols. Okay, so right now yellow, he was engaged in some kind of bad battle that he shouldn't have taken, as Dark Levi's are apparently gonna be taken up at the flag of the Armada of Run Forest Run, and hoping that he can somehow turn the battle around, but yeah, not entirely certain how well it's gonna be working, because right now, so far, the advantage of Gauchos is stemming from the fact that they are able to basically fight 2 versus 1. Both Poncho and Pingui being at the same time. Whereas for the opponents, it's only Dark Levi's or only Canala, and that's exactly the reason why it's working for them. Right now, Canala definitely doesn't have to take this, and shouldn't, because he just doesn't have the numbers for that. But he's at least giving some kind of opportunity to Dark Levi's to maybe start controlling the middle of the map and open the opportunity to, like, I don't know, get rid of this, for example, and basically allow Bullet to deal with that without any kind of extra pressure, and maybe allow him to land right after he finishes with all of this. Okay, so Bullet didn't really lose all that many villages yet, but Exodo is definitely getting there as far as the economy goes. So does he have some kind of villages here? Oh well, he's having 1 villager, not entirely huge. Not entirely huge, really. Is he gonna be producing some palisades to protect himself fully in that? Yep, that seems to be something that he's quite enjoying this game so far. He even used that when he was killing the boar in there, and he seems to be really controlling the economy in the home base of Bullet quite well, but Bullet is already moving forward towards his allies, and he really doesn't seem to be faced all that much. He does have the TCs, he does have the villages, so kinda, yeah, who cares, it seems like for him. He also does have the protective castle, so he's gonna be all about not really losing the fight for the economy, and potentially his allies winning the water battle, which is gonna be always tricky, as Canala is still under heavy attack by the double in there. In the meantime, Dark Levi's will be having a bit of opportunity to maybe even push on Pingui and Poncho. So let's see if he's actually gonna be able to take that, because his economy is not exactly strong, but so is not really strong for Pingui. Pingui 53 and 58 for Dark Levi's, so Dark Levi's is having even slightly better economy. And then the rest of the players, that's gonna be Canala 72 and Poncho at 73, so the economies are not really that different. Ever so slightly better for RFRs, which basically means that RFR could be having a shot at somehow turning the game around, and still, yeah, with army already growing strong right now for Bullet inside his base, he seems to be getting ready to get rid of all of these steel nonsenses on his little island. So let's see if he's gonna be effective at that. Looking at the army, he should be, because this is not anything huge. And the army for him, that he's having a combination of basically everything that he can make, like a few knights, some Tarkans, some monks, some Mangonel in there. He's really making anything that he can, and hoping that he can then out-micro the opponents in there. So Imperial Age for Poncho, that's actually quite important, as Dark Levi's is going for coinage. So he's probably gonna be slinging a bit into Bullet. I think so. Because if he can sling into Bullet a bit and still continue fighting on the water, that could be actually quite important. As Dark Levi's is falling back, gonna be apparently catching the second flank of Poncho's boats from the top side. It seems that it's gonna be working for him, but at the same time Canala is not exactly present on the water anymore. You can see he's getting hammered by Pingui, and the second army, basically reinforcements coming from Pingui and Poncho's docks, are gonna be closing Dark Levi's altogether. So the question is if he's gonna be having enough numbers to deal with basically both armies, and if Poncho and Pingui are gonna be timing this correctly, because those reinforcements still could be coming there as well. And once that happens, Dark Levi's will be quite probably losing absolutely everything. But Pingui is also advancing into Imperial Age, as basically all three right now, all three Gauchos are advancing Imperial Age, whereas none of RFR are coming forward. Oh well, that's gonna be very bad news for them, especially on the water, because the Galleons, that's just gonna be a huge power spike, and Dark Levi's will be having quite big problems dealing with that, as in the meantime it seems that Bullet will be able to get rid of this army. Oh, that's gonna be a cheap shot in there by the Mangonel of this little army by Exodo. So it seems like that he's gonna be quite fine in there, building the TC right next to the gold mine. That was of course quite a big problem for him. As in here we are looking at the big battle of Dark Levi's against basically both Poncho and Pingu. Majority of their armies, and Dark Levi's is definitely not doing very well right now at this spot. He's definitely gonna be losing the water. It doesn't seem like the blue would be coming back on the water all that much anytime soon. And what's exactly gonna be the plan though? For, oh, scratch that, he's gonna be coming back on the water, but on the other side. On the other side, and with the castle being just right now finished, he definitely will be having quite a good chance. But with Dark Levi's losing like pretty much everything in there, in those two pincers. That is not a good news for them, because of course without that kind of army it's gonna be all that easier for Gauchos to control the water, especially with the Galleons and the Imperial Aegis, because Imperial Aegis are just absolutely not coming for RFR. So you can see bullets slowly getting there, it seems like. Dark Device is gonna be clicking in, and Kanala, well, also gonna get in there, but it's still some kind of 4 or 5 minutes until they even get there. So that's plenty of time. That's plenty of time for Gran Gaucho to actually make that count. As of course they're gonna be in the meantime using even the boats to help themselves on land, especially Exoro in there, and making it a whole lot more difficult for Bullet to finally put the opponent off this ground and especially off this gold. This is the most important thing that he wants right about now. Secure the large gold mine for himself. As the castle is gonna be coming up, and yeah, just basically right now, bit by bit, he's gonna be moving forward and also trying to push the opponent back in there. Okay, so the economy is 101, 126 and 88 for RFR. For the opponents 68, 96 and 97. So the economy is actually still quite better for RFRs. So yet again, is it gonna be something like on the run on the Black Forest, that the stronger economies are gonna be kicking in a bit later and basically securing the win for them? Not entirely certain, but you can already right now watch how Pingui is taking care of the shoreline, placing houses absolutely everywhere so that they are not surprised by any landing whatsoever, so that they can see all of it. But of course Dark Levi is losing all of the docks. Probably gonna be rebuilding somewhere in the middle. Yes, he is, right next to his teammate, and also the teammate, the Mayan, is already producing quite plenty of boats and is catching off guard the reinforcements from Poncho, but those are in quite good numbers, and they are especially Galleons. So yeah, this is gonna be an absolute wreckage. Absolute wreckage, even with the Imperial Age almost there for Kanala, and for Bullet as well, and for Dark Levi's also. Yeah, well, this is gonna be definitely costly, and needs to fall back for the protection of the castle, and he should be probably producing a castle here as well. Delete the house, place a castle there. That seems like a pretty good spot for a castle. And then next one here, and he was gonna be having quite a safe haven for all of these boats. Yep, this is nicely played. He just needs to be careful to right now not really fight all that much, just lure the boats right next to the castle, which is probably where they want to go. They will not want to go all that much. Okay, this is a pretty good fight so far for Poncho, of course. Of course. As Blue is having fishing boats hidden right next to the enemy island. It's kind of fun. Basically right now Gauchos are trying to control everything all around the islands, but they're not really doing any kind of lasting damage at this point, because even though they are everywhere that they want to be, they are not at the correct place in the middle, and the middle is gonna be the biggest danger, because right now with the Galleon being finished for Dark Levi's and for Kanala as well, all those docks and the castle, exactly, he doesn't even need to delete the house. This is a great spot for a castle. They're gonna be controlling the map very well, and still they will be having quite a bit of chance how to come back into the game, even claim the water, and then proceed with a full-on landing. Let's see. In the meantime, of course, right now Exoro seems to be more or less camped on the enemy island with his cells, and already stealing plenty of gold from the big gold mine from Bullet, as Bullet is trying to basically prepare himself for a bit of defense, but having horses, and especially not even paladins, just even invested into elite Tarkans. Wow, that's interesting. That's something you don't see very often. But he's of course gonna be not very happy with how many years been prepared for him, so I'm not expecting that this is gonna be working all that well for him. But the combination of Tarkans with the plumed archers, maybe it could work. Maybe it could work. It's strange. But, well, in desperate situation, you are resorting to desperate measures, and maybe just it could work. Who knows? Who knows? It definitely is a possibility for them how to deal with the problematic situation. In the middle, of course, the army is growing, as Blue is right now arriving forward, having already the Galleons for the Mayans. And is he gonna be receiving some kind of support by Red right now? Well, he definitely could. Oh, come on. Come on, Dark Levi, screw all those fishing boats, just go there. This is where the main battle is right now happening, and definitely should have waited. Right now, Blue should have waited for Dark Levi. They need to be playing what Gaucho are doing the whole game. They are cooperating very well all across the map. And it's exactly the reason why they actually were able to win the water in the first side, or rather win the first place As right now, there was quite heavy losses. There were quite heavy losses for Canala. He at least does have reinforcements exactly at the correct time, so this is gonna be turning into good battle for them. And Pingu and Poncho should be thinking about maybe even retreating. But the reinforcements for them are also not half bad, and especially looking at the cannon galleons already being ready for Pingu even investing into elite cannon galleons. Then, well, that might be getting quite interesting, as he will be able to get rid of the dogs one by one, I'm thinking, and it might be really getting hard for the enemies, as Exoro is coming for Onager on land, and Cavaliers are coming for Poncho. Interesting. So apparently Poncho might be also landing himself somewhere on the enemy island. That's fun. Oh, maybe not. Maybe he's just gonna be sending the horses, as he's already preparing the stables in there. But at any rate, quite interesting. As Starcans are coming forward, gonna be probably wrecking all of those siege. Oh man, that's gonna hurt. Okay, so that these were just basically 1 mangonel and 3 trebuchets. Gonna be absolutely wrecked. That's pretty sad news right about now for Exoro, and very well played by Bullet. Very well played indeed, as he finally does have a trebuchet to get rid of the buildings, and he didn't give up, and it seems like that it's gonna be yielding benefits, or rather yielding results, as this is not really gonna be standing for much longer. So very well played, and even though Starcans are gonna be getting rid of the villages, it seems like. Yep. They're just gonna be kinda toastish with the help of a few skirmishers and some plumed archers from his teammate Canala. It seems like a situation handled, because all the villages are gone at this point. They will have to be transported there a bit later, and that's just gonna be a question of time before this is gonna be handled in full. In the meantime, is there some kind of other surprise? Not really. The castle is still finished, as the galleons are in there, gonna be slowly dying, of course. And otherwise, yeah, still abusing the economy in there as much as they can, but nothing all that major in there, as the major battle is happening in the middle, and it's definitely not decided yet. Not decided yet, even though we don't see really all that much of an army from red. Even the demo ship right now in the middle, just waiting to destroy something. Who is much more important on the water right now is Canala, as he is really pushing for it quite strongly, and he's having so many boats everywhere, but he should be really putting them into one spot and potentially even waiting for a bit of help from his teammate. Alright, so there we go. There we go with those reinforcements, but I just cannot help it. But I'm kind of thinking that Canala could be taking a bit better engagements than he so far is. And he's losing plenty of boats basically needlessly. But nonetheless, he's the most important player on the water and doing a pretty good job keeping his team alive. But right now this is not a good fight for him, looking at the numbers in there. As Dark Device is building another castle that is gonna be where? Where? Oh. He's losing so many villages right now. They're coming for, I don't know what. Oh, for this castle. That was the castle that I was looking for. He's probably trying to somehow build a castle in there so that he can produce extra dogs. Yeah, I'm thinking that's the plan. And he's even having the boats in there for a bit of protection, so that's probably gonna be the plan for him. Steel is still not really giving up on the land in producing extra barracks, but it's probably not gonna be anything all that major. But Bullet is probably thinking that it's done. He probably is thinking that it's done. You can see that he's not even producing all that many units, just basically some skirmishers. Well, nice unit, but even against Halberdiers upgraded, it's gonna be kinda tricky. But Exoro is still gonna be having a bit of surprises for him, and he might be quite a bit surprised by the army that is gonna be coming for him sometime soon. In the meantime, those fishing boats from Canala pretty much forgotten gonna be killed, as the trade is gonna be protected by the castle from the water. And I'm gonna be waiting for some kind of attempt by RFRs to actually go for a landing, because those paladins are already prepared from Poncho. They're missing the upgrades on to attack. They're having none in there, as Furor Celtica is coming for Exoro, and he is interested in still pushing forward. But yeah, he's gonna be right now, it seems like, basically destroyed, especially as soon as those trebuchets are gonna be moving somewhere a bit closer to getting rid of all those buildings. But yeah, well, it's really looking like that it's gonna be time for RFRs to think about landing themselves, and landing should be definitely coming for Bullet, because he's fully prepared for the land. Maybe Canala could be helping as well with some plumed archers, but they need to not really underestimate the water, because so far they seem to be yet again being pushed back. Now Pingu with Poncho are doing such a great job on the water so far, and they really are pulling their weight in there and keeping the game still open and still having good opportunity for themselves and for maybe Exoro to land yet again. As there is of course gonna be build up of market. That was the reason for the castle, not really the docks, but I'm kind of thinking that the docks could be coming a bit later. Wouldn't really be all that much of a surprise, as there are some kind of the cannon galleons then. because the cannon galleons are ready for Pingui, but he doesn't really have all that many of those. You can see slowly, finally coming forward, gonna be getting rid of the dogs one by one, but the castle is definitely still a problem, and the secondary one also, as the boats are in. Oh, this is gonna be an important water battle, which seems to be coming. Looking at the numbers, it seems to be coming for Gauchos, but we mustn't forget all the dogs being right there, so these are gonna be some serious reinforcements still coming in, and that really could be turning the battle around, even with reinforcements coming from the opponents as well. Here you can see all of that, and there was a bit of landing with horses, yes. I did notice that one transport boat with the paladins coming forward, and that's not a bad idea, because he's gonna be coming right into the middle of the enemy economy. And can he... what is he actually right now looking for? Just scouting and maybe going for the trade? I kinda think so. But all he needs to do is stop somewhere and start killing. Well, but not really stop right next to barracks, where he can be actually manhandled by all the halberdiers coming forward. Well, gonna be coming a bit later for the Mayan. But of course, halberdiers are already present for the hunt for bullet potentially. But this is definitely dangerous right about now, as the cannon galleons are coming forward, gonna get rid of the castle. In the next shot, yep, castle is down, and that is a significant issue, as it's gonna be up to the archivists to potentially survive here and keep the game alive, because it seems like that Poncho with Pingui are pushing forward, and this is definitely looking quite dangerous. So is there gonna be some kind of at least attempt at landing by RFRs in the meantime? Something at the back in there, or maybe bullet in the front? Well, apparently he doesn't have the opportunity, and with all the dogs being like absolutely everywhere, even some idle horses in here, it seems that the battle is still not over for Bullet. He still hasn't been, or rather, he still hasn't been able to get rid of all the buildings, but it's just a question of time, as the trebuchet is tirelessly working on that, and of course the extra units are also coming forward. So it seems like that this is gonna be over quite soon, but question is if it's gonna be over also on the water. So far it seems like that it actually might, because you can see the boats and the reinforcements are definitely coming for Gauchos quite a lot more, and in quite bigger numbers. As there was another landing with a few more horses. Yep, they are definitely coming in there. So this seems like a bit of a ferry service for Poncho, as he's all the transport boats here. He's making the paladins in there, and once it's full, he's gonna be ferrying them across. All this fun. This is fun. This is like some transporticum deluxe, basically just waiting to be filled and then move back and whatever. This is kind of funny, but of course pretty big problem right now for RFRs, as their economies are gonna be suffering, even though they do have the options with some halberdiers here and there. Those paladins are just quite fast and just overall quite annoying to deal with. As apparently Exodo is gonna be joining onto the water as well, going for galleons and even heavy scorpions. Interesting upgrade in there, but mainly the galleons, as he is probably thinking, and a whole team of Gaucho are thinking, that if he joins as well, it's gonna be just basically game over on the water, and it might be it. But yeah, well, plenty of dogs are still there for the Viking player, for Akrivice, who is definitely not giving up, and placing another castle and even more dogs in there. So the fight is still gonna be going for quite some time, it seems like, at this point. As the Akrivice is also helping at least a bit with getting rid of the heavy scorpions, and they are apparently quite a good unit against the boats, as you can see. Like, the scorpions are absolutely wrecking them. Can you see this? It's kind of fun. Well, not anymore. Not anymore with the help of the onager in there. So that seems that this is gonna be it. It is gonna be starting in there. And Exoro will have to land yet again if he wants to be danger on the enemy side of the water. But yeah, well, this is already still going on, this ferry service for the paladins, who are all over the place, but also getting killed quite significantly, as the plumed archers are already present in good enough numbers, and this ferry service is just not gonna be working all that much. So yet again, we are in interesting impasse right now, and it's gonna be all about who's gonna be controlling the water battle, or rather better, as apparently Exoro is gonna be hoping to also land a bit through his own ferry service onto the other island, and hoping that it's gonna be enough. It definitely might be, because right now he has produced so many galleons, and it's a problem for Akrivice, who's not going to be able to handle this all that much. And with the cannon galleons, of course, coming in there, yeah, well, the castle is not gonna be standing for too long either. Crop rotation coming for Pingui at an hour of gameplay. Interesting also. Interesting upgrade. CGM coming forward for Exoro. So yeah, the economies are 118, 85 and 123 for the Gauchos, and for RFRs 85, 112 and 171 for Canala. So Canala is having a huge economy. We can see he's still having problems with the resources, and is he like slinging? Because you can see that right now Bullet is even switching into war galleys. So apparently he's gonna be joining on the water, and even coming for the light cavalry. Some funny stuff is actually going on. Another castle coming for Dark Levi's to control yet again that part of the water. But yeah, GG's are right now gonna be called because they are recognizing right now RFRs that this is just not gonna be working for them. And they just don't have any kind of good options how to close the water for themselves. And yeah, the raiding, not really that much annoying yet, but it will be getting way worse with all of those siege ramps and whatever. But much more importantly, the water doesn't seem really all that viable against the elite cannon galleons. You can see how many there are already, and they are just absolutely wrecking even the castles that were so far holding RFR afloat, but not really any longer. So yeah, that was a long game. Quite an interesting one, quite interesting fight. Bullet was able in the end to basically defend against his opponent, even though he still, even one barrack, rather just one barracks, still standing in there. But he did good. He was able to defend, but unfortunately, by the time he did, the water was just gone and there wasn't another opportunity for him to return to landing. So let's check the achievements. And Clan Gaucho B are leading in the Bronze Banner battle against Run Forest Run 2-1, and they are just one game away from claiming Bronze Banner. And they're already having Clan Gaucho a Golden Banner, of course, for winning the league from the finals for Gaucho A. So Gaucho B seems like that they might be getting a very rare double. Very rare double. I don't exactly remember if something like that happened in the AoC Clan League yet. I really don't. And so far, Clan Gaucho B, that's definitely a huge surprise of this season. And especially of the playoffs. Looking at the clans that they have been able to eliminate, like the new Hell Hunters, Black Forest, and the only clan they fell to were New Chapter, but this time against Run Forest Run, yet again looking quite strong. Yeah, a bit of slinging in there, but nothing all that major really. Nothing major really, but well done. Well done, basically by both clans here, but Gauchos were better. GG.